Hello and welcome back, everybody. Turn that off. I think you all can hear me. You should be able to hear me. There we go. Just let me know if it's not loud enough. Looks like I'm not even peeking into the yellow there. So, oh, and that's not right. Let me fix that on the fly. Anywho, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming as usual. There is a chat screen here, but for some reason everything is messed up on this. Sorry, I gotta fix this real quick, everybody. There we go. Hopefully your chat will show up. I'm not really sure. Something's not right there. Anyway, yeah. So as the title says here, and why is there a chatting now popping up? Oh, okay, that's what that is. Sorry, everybody. I'm just like just figuring all this stuff out now. Okay, there we go. There, it's working. Okay. So yeah, like the title implies here, I have a video that I kind of want to just start the night off with, and then we'll get into discussion here with the Discord. You can see they're already talking, but I'm going to go ahead and bring them in, and then I'm going to play the video so that we can all watch it together. And essentially, I'm just using this as a stepping stone. I'm going to get into some other stuff as well. Talk a little bit about my chat with Destiny, my debate with Destiny, which some of you guys probably know about, others not. I'd prefer you not. And I'll talk about that a little bit. But basically, as many people as you watch this channel, you know that I think the ultimate goal here is the criminalization of the Republicans, definitely Donald Trump and his supporters, and essentially just moving us towards a one-party state so that they can get rid of these pesky disagreements and bring the whole country to a utopia. You know, if they just didn't have any opposition, then we could get that done. And basically, Jack Smith did an interview recently, and he said that Trump supporters are going to start targeting Democrat politicians for assassination. Of course, right? You got to have a pretext to before they start rounding us all up, right? You got to whip the country up into a frenzy somehow, and they've been doing that sort of incrementally, calling us, you know, domestic threats and white supremacists, and the president called us semi-fascist, and so they're doing this for a reason. I think that's the ultimate end goal here for that, and they're kind of doing that with the J6. That's why they're really going hard after all those people. You know, that's easy. They can easily go after those people. That's a, you know, and then come after the rest of us for somehow being associated with it. Destiny, in my debate with him the other day, straight up said that he wishes that all Trump supporters would go to jail. He thinks we all should go. He genuinely believes that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my crew here, and then we're going to watch that video, and we'll go from there. Hey, everybody. You guys hear me? All right, we are live right now, and I just basically told everybody, you guys are just now learning this as well. Hello. Who is that new? I can't see your name for some reason. Pizza. All right, cool. All right. So yeah, you guys don't even know, but I got this video of Jack Smith earlier, and it's another one of those things where it really looks like they're trying to push us towards the criminalization of, eventually, I think, all opposition to the uniparty or whatever you want to call it. But right now, they're going to start out with Trump supporters. And I mentioned how that's kind of why we're seeing them throw the book at the J6 people, not only to kind of bolster the narrative, but that's easy pickings. They can get as many of them, you know, in prison as possible. And then they're going to come after the rest of us as possible, you know, domestic terrorist threats. And Jack Smith, who, you know, is coming after Donald Trump, he basically said that, you know, he believes that that's what's going to happen, that Trump supporters are going to start targeting Democrats and politicians with assassination. So let me play this clip. I'll share it with all of you. Let me do this here real quick. That way all of us can watch it. Just let me know. It's only 19 seconds. All right, I'm going to play. Yeah, mute your mics. Hold on. Let's do this over. So, I'm sorry, he didn't actually say it in an interview. He said that in a filing, basically saying that if Trump were to win, then he would use the State of the Union to instruct us all to kill politicians, and we would, of course, do that. What do you guys think about that? Isn't that pretty wild? Well, no, that it came from Jack Smith. Right, I know, but it's just like even that report in itself, that's sort of like insane fear mongering, could give their side all the justification they need to go carry out actions. Hold on, I don't think my desktop audio is coming through. Hold on. You guys probably didn't hear any of that, did you? Hold on, not you guys, not can't hear Discord on YouTube. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me figure out why that is. I don't know why that would be. 1 second. Did you guys hear that video that I played? You okay. Hold on, I'm looking for my sorry everybody. Sorry. I'm trying to fix this, but for some reason I don't see my my option here for this. 1 second. This is why nobody watches my stream. I don't see it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my desktop audio is just not on there. I can't.
The next freaking.
I heard the bad boys.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Hold on, I'm trying to fix it right now. Oh, there we go. That should be working. You guys talk. No, it's still not working. What in the world?
Important things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh, wait, there it goes. It's working now. Now talk.
All right.
There we go. I got it. If anybody's still watching me, there we go.
Can we hear chat? Whoever's left.
All right, so let me let me replay. It's only a 19-second video. Let me do that one more time, just so we're all on the same page. I don't know if the people watching actually heard it, so let me redo this one more time.
Yeah.
Filing, because this could be right out of a political. We'll just read again from the filing, because this could be right out of a political thriller. Quote, the nation would have no recourse to deter a president from inciting his supporters during a State of the Union address to kill opposing lawmakers to ensure that he remains in office unlawfully.
Okay, so the claim from Jack Smith, and they just seem to be making more and more insane claims. They can just get away with saying anything, I guess.
Well, why? How is that? How does that claim actually work? Like, what is his backing that's saying that the nation has no recourse? The nation could be like, no.
We just can't help ourselves, man.
Yeah, the claim doesn't make any sense, and I'm not sure that is exactly the claim. I mean, what's special about the State of the Union message, anyways?
Right.
He could make this statement at any time.
Right.
At a rally in Arkansas.
Well, it's just because like he can activate everybody. It's like activating. It just shows how much these people buy into their own BS.
It sounds like it's almost intentional because he knows it. I mean, of course it's intentional, but like it's like intended for like the media to make clips of it, just like they're doing now.
Right.
Like, and it's like not even going to have any legal weight.
Well, no, I'm not talking about any legal weight. That's why I was saying at the beginning that like I think this is part of building a case to the public, or at least like seeding the idea over time, more and more and more, that these people have to be dealt with. We need to do something with this unsavory group, you know? And I think that we are coming to a point where they will start rounding up Trump supporters.
But I thought it was the conservatives that were being rounded up. Are they scared that they're going to get rounded up in retaliation to that?
Right. I know. That's exactly. That's what it seems like, right? But they're trying to, right, and they're just trying to scare the public. But think about that. Like what they're doing. They're basically trying to make half the country almost murderously paranoid of the other side.
How often are you seeing people make comments like this? Is this a one-off? Because I'm not used to seeing it.
Well, first of all, Jack Smith, he's not just anybody, right? And this is a legal filing. Okay, but he's a person with perceived status and power, you know, right now, and that is a legal filing. It's pretty official to put something like that into the record. And so, and it's not a one-off. I mean, it just kind of goes hand in hand with this narrative we've seen over and over, really, since Trump got into office, that him and his supporters are a domestic threat, white supremacist, semi-fascist, all these sorts of things, right? And I think that is being done for a reason. It's not just rhetoric, right? It's
division. You have divide and conquer type stuff. Yeah, you're definitely creating extremes that are warring against each other. But how much traction do you think this is going to take? How much will that come? I mean, it's got your attention. It got your heckles.
Well,
up.
think about the juries that are. Well, think about the juries that are going to be deciding in these cases. Not just Trump, but like anybody really associated. That let's say they do start rounding up Trump supporters. For some reason, maybe, you know, they made a meme, like people are getting prison time for memes. So who knows what they'll concoct, right? And they'll have the media will be right there, building up these sort of already these pre-justifications for that happening when it does. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that actually, because it is up to the jury, right? In most cases, when it comes to this kind of stuff, and these people are just people that give their opinions on.
Right.
What they think of the lawsuit. So if they do keep scaring the people consistently, especially in a blue state, and they hire a jury, then the chances are they're going to vote against Trump, no matter, even if they're completely in the wrong. They're just going to believe
anybody. I mean, you're just. I feel like more and more they're shaving people off who just don't want to deal with it. You know, more and more people are just like, whatever, I'll just go with the flow. It's way easier. Well, I'm not going to be associated with these people, and it's going to be like the people, I guess strongest willed or hardest headed people that are going to be left over.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that too. There are people that are either center or center right or anything that they just at a certain point. I even hear a lot in person that they just don't want to deal with it. It's like, man, sometimes I just don't want to deal with the baggage. It's like, well, that's exactly what they want.
Right.
They don't want you to deal with the baggage. So, yeah, I would say it's.
There's also the people that believe where there's smoke, there's fire. Therefore, just show enough smoke, and they're eventually going to believe there's fire.
Right. They'll just accept, and they've done that pretty well with the whole no evidence and conspiracy theory and far right. Like they just call anything they don't want to spread or become accepted and as those things. And you got a lot of like Destiny. He was debating with Rob this afternoon or this evening. I don't know if you guys were watching that, but man, over and over and over, I heard him saying these things. No evidence, conspiracy theory. No evidence, conspiracy, crazy conspiracy. And it's just like the media's been doing. It's not hard to see why. That it's just an easy deflection for anything that like you don't want to hear or you don't agree with or
I did not watch that. Do you think that there was anything gained from the conversation?
Oh yeah, Rob did a much better job. He's way better at that. It's funny. It's funny watching him. He's just like clinical, man. He knows what he's doing.
I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I watched like the first hour of the Rob one too. And what Disney does is he does like to interrupt a lot. Like he does not let Rob finish his points ever. Like not one time did I ever see it. I didn't happen to notice that. But anyways, it was entertaining though.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still going or not. They were. I wanted to maybe do something about that, just because.
Oh, are they doing it now?
Yeah, it was live when I posted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were going at it right at the moment. It was pretty good too, because Rob flusters him, man. It's funny. It's really funny. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. I was talking about the one that I think last week, maybe a few days ago, something like that.
Oh yeah, he did that one too. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's what we're watching, and I hate seeing these people like Mary. What's his name? Mari Elber or whatever his name is from MSNBC. All those people from MSNBC are so swarmy, man. Can't stand them.
You know who my favorite is, though? I'll take a guess.
China.
The timestamp when I said
them.
Rob
Joy
Stone.
Reid. It's Joy Reid, man.
Oh yeah, Joy
Rachel
Reid. She's the
Maddow.
worst.
Rachel Maddow. She's a close second.
Also, did you guys hear this? Did you guys hear that Eric Adams now is going to sue the bus companies that are bringing the immigrants to the city?
I did see that. That's
Is he really?
Fuck you! Like, I'm so tired of these people. You people made it a sanctuary city. You wanted to ignore the immigration laws, even though nobody's above the law. You all they repeat that over and over, and it's like everybody just collectively rolls their eyes because it's like. They selectively like do whatever the hell they want, apparently. But
I don't think it's going to work out, Drone, because Greyhound has more money than New York City.
Yeah,
so they can be in court.
Right, either that or any kind of suing is just going to knock them out for good.
Greyhound should have their corporate offices in a Greyhound bus, and that way they could be mobile and be hard to serve with anything.
That's like
Isn't Greyhound like government owned in some way?
You mean like Amtrak? I don't know.
Oh, I'm thinking of Amtrak. You're right.
Amtrak, yeah, but not Greyhound.
But I just find that I find this whole I find this whole thing. So you guys saw that Eric Adams initially said, he passed some ordinance or something that the buses can't bring them in without prior like notification. So they started just dropping them off in New Jersey right at the subway that takes them into New York. So they just were doing that. That's what they're doing right now. And now they're saying they're going to sue the bus companies, which it's just, and of course the media is happily goes along with it. Like, oh my God, these dastardly Republicans. You got to start. It's like people got to start questioning. Every time they turn on the TV, it's blaming Republicans for something. It's like, come on, like, start asking questions.
I don't see how they could blame the bus companies.
Right?
They're just.
I say they just keep going with these tactics. It seems to be
it's
working.
It's a sanctuary city.
So.
They invited it. Enjoy it. Like, I just love this whole thing that like the border states have got to just deal with it. We're telling these people to come, but you guys got to deal with this, not us. They really believe that, like in their hearts.
These people say they want to go to New York.
I was talking to an older gentleman today that grew up in Texas, and he's saying, although he's been paraphrasing, he's basically saying, although they're dealing with the influx of immigration from Texas, don't be surprised if they're shipping out way more than the people that are just coming in that they don't like from Texas. I was like, dude, I don't live there. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's an interesting point of view. But at the same time, when it comes to suing the bus companies, they're doing a service from point A to point B. How can you sue somebody for that?
Right, you can't. There's no right. You cannot. It's insane. He's just desperate. They brought this on themselves. They're desperately trying to pass the buck onto somebody else. That's what Democrats typically are doing, or politicians in general, right?
So. What about the lawsuit of the federal government against Texas for Texas wanting to protect its own border?
Right.
I would like to have more insight on that. That's a little frustrating.
Yeah. I wish we need Pisco in here. Pisco. We need a lawyer in here to explain this to us, because that makes no sense. At that point, you have to ask, like, and I tried to find. I thought there was some like actual official mandate of government. And one of those official mandates was protecting the borders. Like, there's very few mandates
of the federal government.
Right. There's very few mandates, and that's one of them. And it seems that when they're attacking their own states for trying to do that. What does the government? What does that say about the government at that point?
That
the federal government
said that they want it to be compromised. the only logical
Right.
conclusion.
Are we compromised? Or are we infiltrated and they're literally just trying? I don't know. Like, are these people in power so compromised and they just don't care at this point? They're like, whatever, I'll just go along with whatever my handlers say. And, Biden's like, I'll be dead soon anyway. I don't care.
I don't see integrity. I mean, I'm not saying that across the board it's that way, but the more we're paying attention and debating these things and the more we're looking into it, there's so much illogical things happening that when it comes to the America first type concept of us being a nation that's got a strong economy and can take care of itself and take care of others, we're crippling that at light speed.
Yeah.
So
right. They want us to be this like beacon, but they're going to destroy our ability to do that. People are it's like, it's a good thing to have an open mind and all this, but not so open your brains fall out. And it seems that's what's happened here. People are not thinking straight. Too many people are
Go ahead.
Like, you've never taken in.
They must. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, hey,
I'm
Walsh.
going to bring up the stats.
I'm just seeing the same stuff over this side of the pond as well. They must see by flooding the country, whether it's America, mainland Europe, or the UK, with people from mainly poorer countries, with lack of education and different cultures. How can they not think this is going to cause massive problems in society overall, especially when it's uncontrolled? It's just like, it's a 10,000 a day at the moment that's coming in America.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But they must know what they're doing to their own country. These politicians, they're a special breed.
So I got these stats here from Kanoka the Great. Can I read them real quick here to you guys?
Go for it.
You guys can see them if you look at my screen there. If you just maximize it, you can see the stats I have up here. But so in 2010 we had, I guess this is per year. Yeah, per year.
Real quick before, or I'll wait till afterwards. But let me get first word. Go ahead.
So in 2010 we had 463,000 people come in. And 2011, 340,000. The number stayed within that range up until about 2019, and then we see a jump, which that's still a lot of people. I mean, that's still an insane amount of people coming across, right? But then you get to 2019, 2020, it starts getting up. 2021, almost 2 million through. 2022, almost 3 million, and 2023 we're at 32 million right now. So, or I'm sorry, 3,200,000.
So for the 3.2 million situation for 20, me and my cousin were this just earlier tonight with Dance. The number at the border was like half of that, like 1.4 million, and then the rest of those numbers were illegal, where a cop or something. We couldn't figure that out where the rest of that number comes from. Somehow within the United States, people are being interacted with that are illegal. Also. And then they're added to a list. Like, I didn't understand how they're getting that whole number. But even if it was 1.4 million, that's still massive.
Yeah.
Well, just to give context, last year in the UK it was 750,000. That wasn't illegal. That was total. So that was the total.
As opposed to?
Well, that's what we imported. Well, it's tripled in the last sort of 10 years.
But not like the jump hasn't been around the same period of time, like 2021.
Yeah, it went up during Kung Flu. It went through the roof during Kung Flu. Legal, so that's legal migration and illegal together.
Did you have a change of government over there?
No.
During that time?
No.
So it's they're
all in on it. They're all in on it.
Right. No, I believe it's globalist type situation. Trust me. I was curious if you actually had a change of hands at all. Because, they said jump and then everyone was like, how high? And the whole high with a very short period of time. I mean, I don't know about the whole world. There's probably some country somewhere that, yeah, we're not shutting down.
It's the same throughout Europe. I mean, all the tensions that are going on in Europe, and I'm sure in America as well, goes on in the UK.
So you might be able to relate to this also, Welshie. This is Riddle's question on the 2 Cents channel. We have all these people that are coming in. We have illegal immigrants coming in large numbers. And then, should illegal immigrants be allowed access to free healthcare like they're supporting now in California?
No. And just to give you a little bit of context, when they arrive legally in the UK, they get processed within 24 hours. They'll go to a destination. The destination could be a country house, could be a castle, generally 3 to 4 star hotel. And they get mobile dentists, they get mobile GPs or doctors. They get everything. And currently, my teeth are in fucking. I've got toothache. All the Americans whine at us in the UK about our teeth, but
only when we look at them directly.
I can't even get a dentist to look at them at the moment. But they get everything.
My wife works for a dentist, so I have free dentistry, but I still don't go unless it's terrible, 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 because I PTSD, man.
Man, I need to find a dentist. Like, we moved to Marysville, and I still haven't found a dentist like near us, so it sucks.
Well, finding is the first thing, and then when they take a new patient, that might be like 6 months away from now.
Right.
So.
Right. We got into one, and it was like really ancient stuff, and I'm like, my wife went there for her appointment, and she's like, it's all really ancient stuff, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going there.
They're still using leeches.
Right.
I would open both hands to that place, honestly, at the moment. Old or not.
You better have money in both of those hands.
Yeah, I know.
So that was pretty quick. So basically, no free healthcare. Got it. We were talking about the value of a penny not being worth a penny and it costing more than a penny to create a penny. So the whole aspect of currency in the United States, especially for small coins, I'm definitely questioning the reasoning for continuing all the resources for that.
The only coin we really need is a quarter. That is the lowest value that we need, because what do you see yourself buying with pennies, dimes, or nickels?
What are you buying for a quarter?
You need the quarters to do your scratchies, kid.
Yeah, that's why I say keep the quarter. Keep the quarter. Get rid of all the other coins.
I use Chuck E. Cheese tokens for that, Steve.
Oh, Jesus. Big spender.
They're worth more.
That's funny.
All right. So this is one that. Here's another riddle question. Is the accusation of plagiarism for Claudine Gay a conservative weapon?
Say that question again. Exactly how it's written.
Is the accusation of plagiarism for Claudine Gay, Dr. Gay, a conservative weapon?
No.
Just a weapon.
Did you guys see? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think it's a weapon at all in any situation.
But why conservative even? It's just law.
Yeah, right.
The funny thing is, when a professor commits plagiarism and it's called out on it, generally they get suspended for 1 year without pay. She did it, and all of the academia and the whole university stood behind her until they kept finding more and more until it became an asinine amount of it. 43.
Yeah, we'll back you until 28, but after that, you're on your own.
Exactly. It was like they were obviously backing her first.
They got standards. To 28. That's the most.
I think they were treating it like they were being attacked by conservatives, but they really weren't.
They weren't at all.
Yeah, I think that's 100% spin.
Yeah. I mean, of all accounts, it's against Harvard's rules, plagiarism, right?
Oh, hell yes.
So if she got caught out when she was 21, when she was in university, whatever, you say, oh, fair enough. But it's like 43, 50 times, right?
Right, 43.
And he's what of Harvard? The chairman of it or something, or the principal or whatever?
The president.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. She's got to go. It's not a conservative weapon. It's just a weapon she's given everyone. Crazy.
No,
it's not even a weapon.
It's not. It's not even a weapon at all. It's just a fucking fact. It's a law. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? She made, as the president or chancellor or whatever, $960,000.
I know.
So, right, she's going to keep her professorship there at Harvard for a $0 salary reduction. So she's going to stay on for 950,000 or 60,000.
She'll do less and get paid just the same.
Yeah.
I think that's
How
winning.
does she get to that position? How can she get promoted? She has to be a diversity hire. There's no other way of looking at it. There's no other way of
Her
looking at
name
it.
is Dr. Gay.
She's Kareem Jean-Pierre of Harvard.
I mean,
I don't know.
Exactly.
she got
She's the
hired because
press secretary
that's
of
who they
Biden,
wanted to
isn't she?
hire.
She does. She's a doctor. She's obviously got a doctorate, but
Well, can you challenge the PhD on plagiarism?
of course.
Yeah, I mean, if you're plagiarizing, then doesn't that
A
just
lot of
destroy
people
your
who plagiarize
credibility?
some things or plagiarize a whole lot more than just that one thing, which is what we've also found with Dr. Gay.
Right. This thesis looks like Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. You're like, no, I wrote that.
No, it's Dr. Gay.
All right. I think I am instead of saying I am. I
Hey,
don't know.
speaking of the DEI stuff, can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
Are we moving on from that, or?
I was going to add just one more thing.
Okay.
Go ahead. 'Cause oh, there we go. I found what I was looking for.
I see it very much as... I actually think that the plagiarism is almost a left-leaning tool because I cannot, like, the source is apocryphal, but I have heard accusations of anti-Semitism towards her. Like, that she has been anti-Semitic.
Right.
So it makes logical sense that the left would latch on to the plagiarism and just completely forget about the anti-Semitism.
Well, they tried. That was the initial thing, was when Elise Stefanik obviously questioned her.
She got a pass on that, of course.
The other one didn't, right?
Right. She resigned. Yeah.
Context, wasn't it? Context. She said it depends on the context.
There's a context where you could do it, and the context is it's different when Democrats do it. That's
all
it.
the time.
That's the only difference. Hold on. So Elon Musk said, tweeted out or X'd out today. Discrimination on a very, who can disagree with this, right? Discrimination on the basis of race, which DEI does, which is true, undeniably, is literally the definition of racism, which it is, right? We all know that. It's like if you're consistent, it is. So Mark Cuban tweets out, and this is hilarious shit. I totally forgot about this. So I'm glad you got on this. So he tweets out, and I'm not going to read all this, but let me help you give you my thoughts on DEI. And he's like, diversity, good business look where others don't, find the employees that will put the business in the best possible position to succeed. And then we live in a country with very diverse demographics. In this era where trust of business can be hard to come by, people tend to connect more easily to people who are like them. Interesting. Having a workforce that is diverse, is representative of your stakeholders, is good for business. So keep that in mind, because who is Mark Cuban?
Well,
Doesn't he own a basketball team?
Well, yeah, he
the
was
Mavericks.
on Shark
Okay,
Tank.
all right.
He's got a lot of money. I mean,
Right.
He's
Well,
accrued tremendous wealth.
Well, the main point here is that he owns the Mavericks.
Oh wait,
he talks
is that
about
the guy? I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Well, anyway, he talks about equity, and he says this. First of all, he's like, equity, which, okay, is the opposite of equality. He says treating people equally does not mean treating them the same. First of all, yeah, it does.
Wait, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Equity is a core principle of business. Oh, really? Is it now?
It is not.
Okay, now go back. Let's go back to his diversity stuff.
You shouldn't have skipped that sentence after that. Treating people equally doesn't mean treating them the same. I made the mistake for a lot of years thinking it did.
He was so close to being right.
Right.
Wait, Mark Cuban, is this the guy that's who's also defending being funded and shilling for China?
Pharmaceuticals, yeah. Oh, in China, yeah, it is.
Oh, China.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the NBA sucks. Just to be real here.
So Elon Musk comes back right after all this, and you can read it, but it's just typical mantra. And he says, "Cool. So when should we expect to see a short, white, Asian woman on the Mavs?"
That's pretty good.
Right, and it's like that's never gonna happen. So hold on, I got to go back here real quick because he gets rolled for this, right? And so he has to keep making posts. And he says, here we can do the Mavericks. Oh, here we go. So JD Vance comes back and says, The same thing, do the Dallas Mavericks reflect the demographics of America as a whole? Because remember what he was saying about diversity in business and all of that? Well, that's different when he does it, right? It's not, these standards are for other people, not him. And he says, if you were trying to make a stupid comment, you nailed it. Which is just like, I have to slap my face. Like, what? First, as an organization as a whole, yes, we do. More importantly, if you understand the value of DEI, so it's valuable, right? It's not in checklists and quotas. Well, yeah, it is actually, and it's an understanding of how to best compete as a company.
Black tall.
You're right. We hire the people who put us in the best position to succeed. Right. So that's
IBM.
not DEI. Then that's not equity. That's just normal equality operating. Like what? What?
It's meritocracy.
Like all of a sudden, the fact that his basketball team is very not diverse or equitable, or it's like it doesn't matter now because these people. It's like I both understand them deeply and I'm completely baffled by them also.
It's just more idiotic doublespeak. That's all it is. And when someone points out the doublespeak because his basketball team, is watched by white people and short people, he then said, he doubles back and tries, to frame it slightly differently.
Doesn't the term doublespeak come from 1984?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah. Dave Rubin said,
I think
"Is
it
there someone
originates with
forcing
the
you to
idea
tweet
of
this stuff?"
Is there someone forcing?
He responded. Cupid responded. He said, "LOL. Yep. So many folks on here are fun to mess with." Like that's what somebody who got caught saying stupid shit and has no way to back it up. That's how they respond. Oh, I'm just messing with you. Oh, okay.
When you start off one of your messages with, if you want to see how to make an idiotic comment, look here, and then later say, "Yep, so many people are fun to mess with." That's not messing with people.
Right. Exactly. He's so transparent.
Them's
like,
are
you're an
fighting
idiot.
words. Them's are fighting words.
Man, I just can't get over that. I can't get well, I mean, I can. I know he's just pandering, right? And I know the circles he parties in and stuff, they're all into this shit. You can guarantee it. And if he says anything at all that goes counter to the mantra, the woke mantra, he knows he'll be shunned, He doesn't want to be made fun of and mocked like Elon Musk. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, about how they're, demonizing their opposition to the point of like government rounding people up. Like this guy's scared, he doesn't want that struggle session. He doesn't want the Red Guard coming after him.
Do you how many Americans do you think, or even across the pond, how many citizens over there do you think are think about the country as the nation first, excuse me, as opposed to two parties that live inside the same landlocked? Like I tend to see the country as, I don't know, I'm more and more seeing just this divide and two camps. And I feel like it's less of America, I feel it's like less individual people in the United States of America and more this divide that's just getting bigger and bigger into two separate camps.
Right. Seems on purpose too at this point. I used to wonder about that back in my early days of starting to see this, but nowadays it's like it seems almost undeniable that it's on purpose. It's it's some sort. But then again, maybe not. I don't know.
No, pick anything in how they're doing legislation for it. It seems the way it's being legislated is to put people against each other.
Right, but could that just be the result of everybody being so like, it's like everybody is locked into their positions to the point that, like I was talking about earlier, that the Democrats are coming out against the right and everything about this list, saying that there's something wrong with them coming after pedophiles. Like this somehow legitimizes what they said about the pedophiles. And it's like, why would you even write this article unless like it's just that they're against it, so you've got to defend it,
I mean, a side point to what you just said, a different point of how the American situation. If you look at the House or you look at Congress talk back and forth to each other, it's like they can't ever agree on anything. It's no longer a time of forward progression because no one's not going to agree with the other side no matter what. So how does a country function like that?
Well, let me throw this out there. Can you see a civil war in America in the next year, in the next 11 months, or maybe in the next 2 years?
Not without something extremely drastic happening, and I don't think the conservatives will be the one to. They might. I feel like the conservatives will be the one to defend themselves if something ridiculous happens.
I agree.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you could say. Defend yourselves. Unfortunately, we don't have enough of the media to be like. They'll definitely spin it. It'll be like the Running Man. They'll spin it all against us, and any media that comes out and says, anything opposing that will be cast as conspiracy theorists and far right and all these other things, right?
Misinformation, disinformation.
They'll be taken out by the government. It'll be like in Ukraine.
It'll be a Ruby Ridge.
I have a question.
In Canada, they're doing more laws. Is it a spokesman from the UN's mentioned it today? I seen a tape where she's talking about misinformation and disinformation. And I think I remember rightly, disinformation is just information they don't want you to tell. It's not even misinformation. It's not even false. It's correct. It's just against the narrative. That's why I think
whereas misinformation is like the stuff that's happening with the Epstein documents right now, where they're photoshopping people documents as they're being released live, live stream, and they're like taking Jimmy Kimmel's
That's all smoke and mirrors again, though, isn't it? It's not even a list. It's a court case. And
well, it is documents, but more so like the actual misinformation. That to me is like misinformation, where people are doctoring documents with bullshit and presenting it as real information.
Yeah.
Whereas when someone has a narrative that's different, but not based on bullshit, based on facts, and that's being labeled as misinformation, then we have a problem. Then it's opinion-based.
Well, she actually described it as disinformation. Well, she described obviously the different versions, but the reality is they're going to fucking withhold it. I mean, it doesn't matter what they call it. They'll pull it.
Can you make your point again, Welshie? Sorry, I didn't understand.
Well, it doesn't matter what they actually call it, is it? They're going to pull it anyway. They're going to pull that information away from public because it goes against what they want. It'd just be like the Kung Flu, wouldn't it? What they did with the Kung Flu. Look at all the professional people that were taken out. All the professional doctors that actually stood up. They all got taken out. Worldwide recognized people, Malone, all of them lot were all taken out, weren't they? No one was free from it.
Yeah, including doctors in the CCP, like the Chinese doctors too.
Well, they were taken out full time.
Do you think that red media is on an uptick as of the end of last year? Do you think it's becoming more tolerated and accepted and sought after? And less taboo?
What now, RW?
The media, so like Dronetek's type of media.
Yes, definitely being more accepted now. I mean, he can tell you from his viewers. Obviously, he's mainly in America, but he's got viewers all over the world. And same for any YouTube channel now. We're widespread. I mean, it's just getting the reach now. It's being shadow banned all the time and being restricted. That's the biggest problem.
So, but I guess my question is, do you think that the shadow banning is coming down, or do you think that more people are seeking after it actively, or like, I feel like there's an uptick in viewing of that type of material now that wasn't there halfway through last year. That's my personal vibe. I don't know if anyone else is getting that vibe or not, whether it's a algorithm thing or a people society thing or what.
I think it's getting worse. But,
yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? Because I think I might have if I think I heard what you said correctly, then I might have at least a response to that.
Do you think that right-wing media or red media, the media that was being crushed by the narrative, by algorithms and shadow banning, do you think that it's on an uptick? Because I feel like since the end of last year, probably the last couple months of the last year to definitely 2024 beginning, there seems to be an uptick in reception or allowance of red-wing media.
Yes, absolutely. You're talking about non-mainstream, right?
Not mainstream. I don't really pay
talking about Republican leaning media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would absolutely say yes, and I think it's been happening for a few years now. That's why they were trying to ban them. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Yeah, I mean, is it just a sense, or do you have some kind of measure?
I mean, we got the Twitter files, right? I mean, all the exposure of what was happening, the entire duration of COVID. Anybody that wanted to talk about it was just censored, right? And usually it'd be right-leaning people that would be talking about it. It's like, oh well, God forbid anybody wants to discuss an experimental emergency vaccine, right?
Right.
But no, we just had to just accept it. And usually it was right-leaning people that did that, and of course they would be censored. So yeah, I would absolutely.
There's also the aspect of media's coming out that allowed it, like Elon Musk allowing more to happen on his platform, Twitter, the other YouTube that we post to sometime, Rumble, and like Getter and stuff like this. I feel like there's a couple medias that have come out to be the counterbalance, and I don't know if that made a big push or not.
Hey guys, I have something we can do here if anybody's interested. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. I haven't. Vivek apparently destroyed this NBC reporter, and I thought we could. It's about 4 minutes long. I thought we could watch it and pause it throughout and comment if you guys are interested.
You know when it happened?
Just
when
today, a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Like an hour or two ago.
Oh wow! Okay, so I haven't even seen. Okay, cool.
I think I've seen this.
If you join my stream, you should be able to watch it. We can all watch it together.
Vivek was on InfoWars last night, so he's definitely moving around.
It's the one I think is about white supremacy. He just doesn't fall for it, so just won't have it.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm not sure, but I'm going to do it right now. Here we go.
You've put a lot of ideas out there. You've suggested on the campaign trail that January 6th was an inside job, that the plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer was a job of inside entrapment, that the House Republicans,
we know that.
Let me finish, that the House Republicans impeachment inquiry is part of a Democratic plot to sideline Biden, that there is a devious Democratic scheme to actually nominate Nikki Haley. The reality is none of these are top issues for Iowa voters. So why are you focused on these conspiracy theories?
Well, focused is a heavy-handed word, Dasha. If you take 80% of what I said, I'm talking about policy and future direction of the country, talking about how we'll increase the supply of energy to bring down the cost for everyday Americans. And so that's 80% of what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to hide from what I do believe are realities hiding in plain sight that people deserve to know about. Which, the last item that you described, it's not a secret that Larry Fink is going to fundraisers of Nikki Haley, propping her up. That actually one of the biggest funders of the lawsuits against Trump, including efforts to keep him off the ballot, is Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. That's a $250,000 donor to super PAC supporting Nikki Haley. And so I reject this mainstream media general narrative of dismissing something as a conspiracy theory.
Right.
When in fact, I'm a big fan of going after facts hiding in plain sight.
But you know that when you say these things, you know when you bring up the Gretchen Whitmer thing, you know when you bring up January 6th,
grounded in fact.
January 6th being an inside job. Yes, 80% of what you talk about might be policy, but when you hit those issues, that's going to take over the news cycle. You know how it works.
I don't think it should. I'm speaking the truth.
But
as it does
you're a smart guy. You know how it works. Are you using that to get attention as you've been slumping in the polls?
To the contrary, I'm actually speaking in the truth. You have a lot of political analysts that look at this and say exactly what you're saying.
What am I here for?
Yeah, is that like a helper?
Yeah.
Is she wait, is she like a fact checker? Is she gonna like fact check him on the spot or something?
Yeah, you're talking about the chick on the left, right? The pink
Yeah,
girl?
yeah. She's a real-time fact checker.
I was just wondering, like, why she just slowly looked over to the
right,
left.
that was the weirdest thing.
That was funny.
What was
that was hilarious.
Okay,
like, why did she do this?
Why aren't you just saying what causes you to pull them?
Mystery science.
That's what every other political candidate's doing. They're taking what their consultants serve them up. Here's what the voters say are the top issues. Spat back to them what the voters want to hear.
So why?
I'm sharing my true convictions, and I think if we want to revive our constitutional republic, we deserve a government that tells the people the truth again. Not just when it's easy, but when it is hard. Our government has systematically lied to us on things that really matter. Of the origin of COVID-19, we were told for years that it didn't come from a lab in China, when it absolutely did. In fact, you were suppressed on social media for saying it. The eve of the last election, I think it's shameful that the Hunter Biden laptop story was systematically suppressed so voters didn't have that information.
You're talking about Gretchen Whitmer being an inside job of entrapment.
I'm talking about a government that has lied to its people. The same FBI that's investigating conservatives, the same FBI and the same law enforcement apparatus, Jack Smith, that has subpoenaed millions of Americans for anybody who liked or retweeted a Donald Trump post in 2020. That's Orwellian, but that's the same federal law enforcement apparatus that put people up to an alleged kidnapping plot that they otherwise wouldn't have been put up to, multiple defendants acquitted on grounds of entrapment. And so is this a top issue that voters bring up on the mind of voters? Absolutely it's not. But the mainstream media is pushing, and the establishment in both parties is pushing one established narrative.
So if it's not a priority for voters, why are you so focused on it?
Because truth is a priority for me. That's the answer. Truth is the priority for this campaign. And I don't need to be speaking to what every other professional politician is spouting off. We need to speak the hard truths that other candidates are unwilling to touch. And even though that doesn't poll necessarily on what NBC or the Des Moines Register or another media outlet is going to ask voters what are the top issues on their mind, it's important. What really is important to many voters, I believe, is a government that trusts them with the hard truth again. That hasn't happened for a very long time. And so my view is, if that's what the voters want, that's what they're going to get from me.
What,
they want somebody
that we should be able to trust the government?
Well, because it's like if let's say Chris Christie gets elected, like he goes along with these narratives, and so you can't. There's going to be a huge chunk of this country that will never trust anything that comes from him. And so I like his angle there. I mean, he's saying, and he deals with her questions so well here. He doesn't start. What's that called, gish galloping or any of that. He just basically says, look, I don't really care if this is polling. I care about what is true in these cases. The media doesn't care. We know that. That's great pointing that out, because they don't care. All they care about is repeating a narrative.
Steve, is that her actual name, Brianne Fafnenschneel?
Yes.
Who is it?
Nice.
Who's Fafnenschneel?
The pink lady.
Oh,
pink dress lady.
She's kind of creepy. What is she doing? What's her purpose?
Moral support.
Okay.
Is the other woman doing
incrementally reform things, change tax rates by 1% one direction or another, and call that a legislative accomplishment? Go with somebody else. That's not me. But if you want a candidate who is actually going to revive the ideals of 1776, who is going to trust the people transparently with what the government knows to be true, if you want a government that actually is of and for and by the people again, I think I'm the sole candidate in this race who can deliver that.
He is.
Yeah, man. I'm going to vote for Vivek, man. Or Vivek. I like Vivek.
Feel you. It's not made out of snakes, I swear.
Trump should be Vivek's VP.
I know.
Yeah, I agree. I believe Vivek should be Trump's VP.
What's up, man?
Oh, no, you specifically said Trump should be Vivek's VP.
Right.
Exactly what you said.
Yep.
But
How about no?
No.
No.
Well, if you think about it, Riddle, that means that he could be a president again 4 years from now when he's dead, probably.
Right.
But
you
Wait,
gotta do
is
4D
that
chess, bro?
Is that?
I think. Well, here's the thing. I think Vivek.
Can you be VP when you're? Oh yeah, you can. Fuck.
I don't see why
Yeah,
not.
I think Vivek should be the successor to Donald Trump.
Yeah, Riddle, join the VR chess, bro.
The VR
How many times can you be a vice president? That's my question.
I think you can only be vice president 2 times, like the president.
Interesting.
We'll get him in.
Well,
yeah, there you go. He's be the most interesting vice president ever.
Well,
Trump?
Yeah.
It depends if you're Obama. Because if you're Obama,
Vivek,
you can...
I'm telling you,
Vivek.
Vivek. Listen.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
No, dude. Fine.
And the only reason I know it's Vivek is because in his little rap he says Vivek rhymes with cake.
Yeah, I heard a couple of articles covering this thing. Yeah, it did stick to.
What was Steve saying?
When can I just say the way I see the media just playing all this around, it's all they do. They just do sound bites, just take it out of context, put their own commentary spin on it to make it look like news, but really it's not news. It's more like pseudo news disguised as propaganda.
Do you think that they write it themselves, or do you think they might plagiarize those things?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised that news have been involved in plagiarism. Like, I see a common cycle in which news articles just copy each other's writing, because there may be a different news agency.
You noticed that?
Yeah, because there was this one time, because when I see an article, I notice that on these occasions, they just copy what other news news agencies do. So I just feel like there's a massive plagiarism, like a secret agreement to plagiarize each other.
So is like this? Is this like a chicken or the egg kind of deal going on right now?
I don't know what is chicken of the egg.
What's first? Who plagiarized who? And if they're plagiarizing, who was the original one?
Yeah, it's just that it's the thing, you know, because here's the thing. Remember how Trump's couple of first year of president, they say the walls are closing in. Every time other people are saying walls are closing in on Trump from different news media.
So how many years now? 6, 7 years almost, maybe. The walls are closing in. This time they got him. The walls are closing in.
Or the latest, or the latest one.
I'll never
is
forget
Putin.
that video, man. That video that chronicles it through the entire 4 years is insane.
I just feel like there's some sort of copying each other's work or a secret collaboration just to spin the news into their own purpose between a lot of the mainstream media.
I would say it's more of a collaboration as opposed to a plagiarism.
It really isn't a secret. I mean, for a while ago, a bunch of them were caught collaborating. They had a Slack channel, which only progressive journalists were invited, and so though they got caught and they deleted that channel, I'm sure they do the same thing over Signal and other apps where they basically share narratives.
They use Truth Social now.
I feel,
I'm sure they use Truth Social.
Why did you mention that? The way I see, I think you mentioned that. I'm just trying to figure out, like how, like you mentioned about how they collaborate with each other. I just feel I'm trying to how to put this in perspective. Like there is some sort of, how should I put it? I forgot. Just continue on.
I'm not sure what you're saying. Sorry.
Since he stopped, I'll interject. I did some looking up into how many terms you can serve as vice president, and there's no term limit on serving as vice president. You can serve vice president as underneath as many different presidents as you want. There's no term limit on being vice president. But
there's no term limit on being vice president. Did you check the Constitution?
Gentlemen, I think we just found the trick to insurrection.
It's the 22nd Amendment. It only limits the president.
Yeah, it only limits the president. There's no actual limit on how long you can serve as vice president. Although once you become president after the president who was before you dies, then you go to the president term limit.
So by then we could just have a computer screen with an AI Trump after he passes away. By then they'll have it perfected, right? I'm sure, right?
Well, here's the thing.
We can elect that as VP, right?
I used a AI Trump voice once in a video where I had him say something.
The only reason why that we have it in the Constitution is because before the constitutional amendment, there was a convention in which presidents can agree to serve only to have a go at 2 terms. And then after FDR, served 4 terms as president, there was a constitutional amendment that meant that only the president can serve 2 terms.
That's right.
But what they're saying, I hear the group saying is that if you go in as a VP, even if you've been a president twice, if you're a VP and something happens and you become the president in that scenario, it's a loophole.
Man.
Is Obama running the office in the moment? Not Big Mike either. Barrett.
I think that you would be restricted to the position of acting president.
Well, can I ask? Has there been any constitutional questions about if a president somehow suddenly dies and then the VP takes over? Is that their official first term, or is that like a acting term until they officially serve their first term?
So I think there's 2 years of leeway before it becomes their official first term.
Mm.
Can they resign?
So if you have served over 2 years,
right,
then it's your first term. But if you serve under 2 years, then it doesn't technically count towards your first term. So you can technically serve up to 10 years as president.
10 years. That's pretty unique. Like that's
No, you
that's
can
like
serve
a
longer
leeway.
than that.
That's just what I got from minor Googling. So
You could be. Don't forget, you could be the vice president forever.
yes, you can be the vice president forever.
The amendment only limits how many times you can be elected president. It doesn't limit how many times you can take over as president, being the vice president, and the president is removed. You can become the president without being elected. So you could do that over and over and over again.
It reminds me
here's
of the
the thing,
meme of Mo throwing Barney out of the tavern, and then Barney's right behind him again.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing because if Donald Trump becomes president again, it's going to be like historical because it's going to be the first time a president candidate who lost regains becoming president after like since the late 20th century. So I meant 19th century. There was a president who served one term, then lost, and then won it back again. Like, who was that president?
I think it was Grover Cleveland, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And here's the thing, once Donald Trump becomes president again, he's going to have more leeway, be able to get his agenda done because it means that he won't have to run for election again after he wins his second term.
Do you think that when he gets in, or if he gets in, that he's going to be able to just breathe through legislation, or is he going to get stonewalled on every single aspect of his presidency?
Well, I feel like Trump is going to actually be more harder than he was on his last term. So I feel like he's going to go hard, brutal. It means that he'll
actually... If he's hard, but he still has to do checks and balances. What's the difference?
Well, it means, it's the thing. He has more leeway. He won't be able. He means he'll be like he can actually do whatever he can to try and do it. Because I remember that time when Obama, when he won second term, he spoke to the former Russian president that he would have more leeway after when he wins second term.
I don't know. It sounds like a fairy tale scenario.
Well, I'm not saying it may be a fairy tale, but it means that
Putin. He said that to Medvedev, or how do you say that name?
Yeah, Medvedev. That's the president. I think that's
Medvedev.
Don't forget, Putin has been dead about 5 times in the last 2 years. He's got like cancer. He's had strokes, heart disease. He's been poisoned.
He's got super scabies.
But he just has
neuromuscular disease.
Are you talking about like Putin? He's like Rasputin. He just won't die.
If you like this content, please like it, share. I'll be happy to
he answered
thanks so much, everyone. As always, have a good
5 hours.
Circle in the drink paste.
Still going, mate. He's still going. That mainstream media. I tell you what, there's so many things happen to this boy. He keeps on bouncing back, and then he answers my questions for 5 hours.
Here's the thing. It's a different guy. It's a body double.
Well, here's the thing. Even if we know that Putin is a dictator, how many things that the mainstream media lie about Putin? Like, we can agree on things that Putin is a dictator, but what about the things that the mainstream media lie just to incorporate their own agenda? Like, they may tell things. They may tell things the truth about Putin, but they'll actually also say a lot of dumb things just to promote their own policy, like, their agenda, like support the their own. I'm trying to word this correctly. Support the president, the government's power, influence, and control. That's what I'm trying to say, because the media only has.
They're happy to report on something that fits their narrative. So if they get a report that he's been poisoned, or he's had a stroke, or he's got diabetes, or he's got cancer, or he's dead again, they'll report it, even though like 3 weeks ago they've obviously debunked their last time he said he was dead or had a stroke, because now they're saying he's got something else. If it fits their narrative, the mainstream media happy to promote it.
I'd like to segue here just a little bit to the South Korean opposition guy that got stabbed in the neck.
You can do that real quick.
Oh yeah, I've actually heard of that. Like, seriously,
real quick before you do that, before you get into that, I did invite Rob, who just ended his stream, to come over here. I don't know if he will, but I'm just throwing that out there. We might talk about that. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so basically, who wants to go first?
I'm just curious if you can relate anything to the guy that got stabbed in the neck, because Does anyone
I've
look
never
more
been
into that
stabbed in the
story?
neck,
Actually, you know
so
what?
I can't relate
I
to
have
it.
not looked into anything at all about that, but I find that
we could
I
talk
find it
about
actually interesting.
people killing each
Because
other to
he's-
get those pink mugs.
Okay, I think I found, for what I've actually read, is that it's possible that the guy who stabbed the opposition leader had some sort of grudge against him for what the opposition leader did.
All right, opposition leader
I'll
from
be right
which
back.
opposition? From what? The
South
current
Korea.
South Korea.
party? Oh, but the current I know, but the current party from South Korea, like which against the current party in
I think he's a leftist.
a leftist.
I believe
Okay.
he's Democratic.
Democratic.
Can,
Okay. The one
can we
that the one
talk
that
about
did
the
this,
mass shooter in a minute?
the one that did the
Sure.
stabbing, or the one
No,
that got stabbed
the one who was stabbed
was
was the
The
Democratic.
guy
leading
who got
opposition.
Okay,
stabbed,
okay,
I
well,
think,
hold on, because this is a important difference here, like because they're Democratic is not the same as being Democrat in the U.S., right? So this would be more like
Yeah, you
a
have to know more.
like right-leaning person in South Korea that was stabbed.
no, the guy who was the opposition leader, he's left leaning. The president is a conservative.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah. The
it was,
name is definitely.
So it was a Trump supporter, a MAGA guy that stabbed him.
Wow,
Yeah,
MAGA.
basically.
MAGA.
Yeah.
Straight
was
out of your ass,
extremist.
right, Dan? That was literally straight from your anus.
I forget
get
the
Bear with
everywhere.
me for a sec. I'll
Okay.
search for the
It
article.
was.
I'll see what the
Alright,
stabbing was
sure.
about.
I have a
Okay.
very strong
And-
antenna to
and-
listen to signals
and-
from my anus.
And could we do a subject change, Dronetek? It's not now, but obviously in the future, to do with the mass shooting with the trans individual, do we call it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, from Ohio.
Yeah, in a place called Perry, I believe.
Perry. Yep.
I didn't study much into that. I've just heard, a conspiracy
Iowa.
theory of convenience.
Iowa.
The
There we go.
convenient
Thank
timing
you.
of it.
I heard Alex Stein was actually on the scene and trying to
Yeah,
report on that.
Alex Stein started roasting the police quite bad, actually. It's quite good.
Isn't that the
So,
guy
yeah.
from that goes on Infowars and he's just like very
Yeah,
eccentric?
he's the one that said Big Blue Latina and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
AOC.
Yeah, that's the
AOC,
guy.
man.
AOC.
But
Yeah.
what so from what I've heard about the guy who stabbed the opposition leader, he's in his mid-60s. He was born. They say he was born in 1957.
His surname
Okay,
is Kim.
but I think the real question is like why? Why did he do it? Right? Obviously, that's the question.
It's possible. From what I've read earlier, last time I checked, it's possible the guy had a grudge against him for what he did because he believed that the opposition leader did something wrong, and the guy who stabbed him.
From the BBC, as of today, the motive for the attack is still not known. Although Kim told reporters before attending a court hearing that he had submitted to police an 8-page note explaining his reason.
There was a guy going around Liverpool last night with a gun with flip-flops, and they were the mainstream media were calling him a Liverpool man. But I mean, this guy was your typical, should we say, Kalashnikov character with his sliders on, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, he resided in Liverpool at the time. That's for sure. But he wasn't a Liverpool man.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the term.
Liverpudlian.
Sounds like a real scumbag. Don't insult Kalashnikovs there, Welshman.
My question is, how did he get a gun in Britain?
Like the Russian gun?
Yeah. He was walking around the town with like a semi. It wasn't a Kalashnikov, but like a semi-automatic, just taking pot shots.
So I just found out that Lee has actually been facing corruption allegations and trials.
Wait, what? I'm confused now. There's too much interruption. What's going on?
Okay, I just found out that the opposition leader got stabbed. He's facing allegations of corruption and is currently facing court trials.
Okay, for what?
Well, I do know the corruption part. I just found he's been facing corruption allegations, and it's possibly he's gone to trial for that.
I see. Right, but for what was the corruption trials for? I mean, like what's the charges? I mean,
I'll have to have a look at that. I'll be back soon.
okay.
Anyways,
Can we get,
wrapping
can
up.
you give
Leader in South Korea. Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Trial
it's
good.
rare.
Nice,
It's rare that
spectacular bad.
it's rare that you see that. But what I'm really curious is about who the hell assassinated Shinzo Abe.
Oh, the
That was a
guy that
while
built
ago.
his own shotgun.
Yeah, he hand built a shotgun and assassinated in front of anybody. That was insane to me.
Poor security. Very poor security.
He had a reason though.
No, yeah, that's just it's just weird to me. There wasn't much coverage on it, and I don't know.
You
I don't
definitely have
understand.
to hate somebody, though, right,
It,
Riddle?
it wasn't a
Build your own
political
gun.
reason, so it didn't get a lot of coverage.
So, real quick, I just want to throw out there. I didn't know what day this was. So the date that Destiny and looks like Ed Kranzenstein and Brian Kranzenstein, who are those two Biden brothers, they're going to be debating January 6th debate this Saturday at 7 o'clock. It's Glenn Greenwald, Alex Jones, and Darren J. Beatty.
Wow.
I don't know who that is.
Brian Cranston?
I thought you said it was Destiny. That
Right.
was also
It's
there.
two. It's 3-on-3 debate, and they're going to be live in studio together.
That sounds insane. That sounds like insanity. But I want to watch it.
Which
I'm
studio?
going to watch it.
Where's it?
Those two brothers are literally just
Where's it being broadcast on?
Zero Hedge. It's going to be on. It's going to be live on X and ZeroHedge.com.
Okay, not Rumble. Okay.
I'm going to tell you my prediction. Destiny is just going to steamroll over all of them probably.
No way.
I just because it's going to appear that way.
You don't say he's gonna talk around everybody and not let anybody finish a point.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
He does, dude.
That's what I meant.
Alex
Yeah.
Jones
And he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's really good at it. He is. But
yeah,
I
he's
think,
good at deflecting. He's good at fucking just turning it back and taking over the conversation. He's really good at that. He really is.
Yeah.
Did you say Ben
Rob's
Shapiro?
good at dealing with it. I don't think many people are good at dealing with that. Rob is really good.
Rob,
Dronetek, did you say Ben Shapiro?
No, not Ben Shapiro. It's going to be Destiny and then Alex Jones, Glenn Greenwald, and some other guy. That's all that really matters. Is those three.
3-on-3. That's crazy.
I know it's gonna be dumb. Kind of.
Who's hosting this? It sounds like a WCW like
Zero
mega
Hedge.
matchup. Oh, okay.
Get ready to rumble.
Yeah, Ryan, where's Liberal tonight? Where's the cut?
He wasn't
He's-
interested.
He's watching. He's watching 2,000 Mules. Sorry to interrupt, man.
Well,
That's all right.
All right, guys. What are you guys discussing now? I was just looking up on the South Korean leader.
Well, I was expecting more from Liberal when I debated him. He didn't.
Yeah,
You can try and tag him in.
I was
But
quite
think he's
surprised with
streaming
his
on
lack
his own
of
thing.
knowledge between like Ukraine, Russia, and the Gaza problems at the moment.
What?
He's just a kid, right? How old is he? Is he more than 22?
He's got to be close.
Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up just because we don't have that much more to talk about and we're losing viewers. So I just wanted to kind of wrap this up before that happens. I hate to, because nobody here is really in the chat to be on the stream, or we just hang out and we chat in Discord on Thursday nights. So I want to invite everybody again to show up, hang out with us. And, it was a fun stream. I'm never good at this, but if you enjoy watching and you enjoy my content, please hit that like button, subscribe, and keep coming back, checking for more. I know right now I've been kind of, let's say, not as consistent as I used to be on videos, and it really is just my life right now is crazy with the kids and the baby. But things are going to change here soon. I got one that's about to start school, so that should help. And hey, I'm doing content whenever I can do it, so keep checking back. And definitely come to hang out with us in Discord. And I will see you all on the next stream next Thursday as usual. See you then.